Oh, hi there. What's up, Duff here? Let me just minimizing my distractions. Hey, this is another live stream with lots of notice. I mean, I gave it, I think, at least 5 or 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes of notice for the live stream, and I just streamed a little more than a week ago, so that hasn't happened in a long time. But I have some things to talk about, and so I thought had an hour or two to kill, so I might as well talk about them. Let's see. So Brian Gonzalez, who also just messaged me on Facebook, is here. Hi, Brian. Thanks for coming in. And Babbitt the Wabbit is here as well, who is a frequent visitor to my live streams. Based on the time of day, it's Saturday morning in Australia, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some of the Australia guys show up as well. And yes, I am enjoying another Cayman Jack. This has literally become my new Zima Cayman Jack. Because it goes down so fast. I mean, I drink these fast. The only downside is these containers are not very big. Does even so? It's only 12 ounces, 5.8% alcohol by volume. So it's not super high alcohol volume, but it's pretty decent. My point is, I just slam these things. I mean, they just go down like nothing, which is the way the Zima is too, or was. So, and I have a few in the fridge. So, and I'll buy more tomorrow at the grocery store. So I'm going to drink some tonight. Wilson is here. Hello, boss. Hey, Wilson. I'm not your boss, but hello, man. How you doing? So I'm not sure. Let's see. What should we talk about first? Well, let's talk about my S22 first. Brian had just messaged me on Facebook saying that he had an incident. I don't know if it was today, Brian, or recently, where he was at like 70-some% battery level on his S22, and he had a cutout, and he was going, what'd you say, 15 miles an hour, Brian, something like that. Yeah, 15 miles an hour at 73% battery. It cut out. So I'm assuming, Brian, it cut out, but it turned back on. It didn't die, right? I mean, your system board's not fried. There's been unfortunately, just a litany of issues with the S22s. Hey, Murray's here. Channel member, Ratman Murray. Channel member, Brian Gonzalez. Sorry, Brian, I didn't recognize you as a member. You are a member. Yes, he was only going 15 miles an hour and it cut out. So did it? Okay, turn back on. So when it cut out, was it actually turned off? Like when it was down on the ground, was it off or was it on? Okay, it turned back on, which makes me think that it was off. Okay, it's interesting. I mean, I have heard of cutouts on S22s, but some of them have been like total system board failures, and some of them have been like you described. And Brian mentioned how that can make you lose faith in a wheel. I can definitely understand. So, what was the end result? Did you have gear on? Did you get injured? Did the wheel get significant damage? I'm curious. What was the end result, Brian, of crashing at 15 miles an hour? Which is plenty fast enough to hurt yourself, which I will be talking about more soon. More soon. Abbott the Wabbit. F's sake, yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Leo from Brazil is here. Yep, you kept the streak alive, Leo, even though this was a 5-minute notice live stream. I appreciate you coming in. Okay, Brian confirming the wheel was off when after it cut out on him. And you said something like you've had what, 900 miles on it already? So you would think at that point you're past the break-in period, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, Brian. I would be nervous. Were you doing a hard deceleration when it happened, potentially? I'm just curious on the circumstances. So he said it just died and now it's fine. Okay. And you had gear on. That's good. You just banged your leg, but knee guard worked, elbow and wrist. Okay, good. How bad was the wheel damaged? How bad was the S22 damaged? Simon is here. Yeah, Simon, I just predicted that some of the Australian crew should be stopping in, including yourself, including Murray, and maybe Dale. Who knows? Equipment paid for itself. Yes, 889 miles. Yeah, that's to have it fail after that long. That's it wouldn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. And if I remember correctly, Brian, you got yours from eWheels, right? I've had some contact with Jason lately, and one of the things he mentioned is the the problems with the S22, and he's been trying to deal with a lot of them. So I would definitely run it by them at least. Amadel, hello, Duff. Everything okay? Are you single? That's an odd question, Amadel. Why would you ask if I'm single? I'm just curious. I'm just curious why you would ask before I answer that question. Okay, Brian he was doing turns when it cut out. What? So Brian, you got yours from eWheels. Was it? It was batch 1, right? So did eWheels ever like replace your motor or fix the stator problem that the batch 1 KingSong S22s suffer from? Just curious. As far as the wheel damage, just wheel front bar scratch. Otherwise, okay. Well, that's not bad. Good. And Simon just messaged Dale. Okay. Well, I expect to see Dale soon. So now, I'm sure we'll get some other feedback here. Okay, so Brian says that eWheel sent you a new motor and Alien Rise. Okay, I remember you did tell me that Alien Rise was going to install it, and you put a new tire. Okay, so the motor should be okay. Yeah, shit, that it was off though. That it was off when it hit the ground. I mean, it's easy enough to take the cover off and verify connections and stuff. But yeah, I would want to just take a look. You can make sure that the motor and the phase wires underneath are securely connected, which they probably are. But that's a simple thing you can do. Just make sure that everything is connected securely. That's a scary situation. Leo, talking to distributors. I haven't seen any videos from Speedy Feet. Is it me or what? No, it is not you. I actually mentioned that on the stream I did last week. That how I saw nothing from Ian. And someone from the UK, who was it? Stuart, I think, said that I guess both E-Rides and Speedy Feet, they're having a real big issue getting wheels. I'm not sure if it's a UK thing, but they're having a real big issue getting wheels. And if you look at Speedy Feet's site, he's primarily selling old wheels, wheels that have not been introduced in the last year. I think the exception was the M104, and he had a V13s in there, but everything else was old. The Abrams, the Inmotion, or the V10F, just old wheels. So, but it's weird that he's like disappeared from social media kind of as well. So I don't really know. And I miss Ian. I really like Ian, so I'd like to know what's going on. Oh, so, okay, Brian says that there's beeps before it cut out. But if you were just turning, I mean, you weren't doing anything that would potentially stress the motor, right? You didn't come out of the turn and lean hard, or, I mean, that's crazy. Omadel, after you moved, I've only seen you ride alone. Well, I mean, Cindy and I broke up. Let's see, she moved out September of 2021. So, and she really had, the last year, I mean, she very rarely rode with me anyways. So me riding by myself is not that unique of a thing. Me riding with someone is something I'm going to be talking about in relation to the thumbnail. If you saw the thumbnail on the on the live stream, which is my base camp helmet, and that is the end result of something I'm going to be talking about. So no, I would not say that I'm single. No. George Bourbon, just riding my previously loved RS19 high speed, nice power delivery, but overheated on a 15-degree slope. Okay, make sure you have the updated packs in that. That's probably what it's probably 1800 watt hour wheel. Please make sure you have the updated packs, because that's one of the wheels that likes to go up in flames. Just saying. Brian, in regards to his S22 cutout, I did not have any app running. Does that make a difference? If I have Darkness Spot or KingSong app not connected, does that make a difference? No. No, not as far as cutting out. No. I mean, you could have some logging and some documentation, where you could see potentially if there was a large power draw prior to the cutout, but it wouldn't cause a cutout. Simon says Speedy Feet has been really quiet. Ian has another business selling airsoft gear. Yeah, because he has a storefront somewhere, doesn't he? Because I remember some video like when he was doing like vlog style stuff. I mean, it's weird. Like Ian has like gone really, really hardcore into producing videos, and then he goes silent. He bought all the drone stuff. He was, like I said, he was doing a lot of vlogging, putting a lot of time into his content. And I can only assume he stopped doing it because he wasn't seeing the return probably on all that time, because it does take a lot of time and potentially money to produce videos. So Mad Pack also stopped doing videos because of it being difficult to get wheels in the UK. Oh yeah, really? Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen anything from him lately as well. Now that you mention it, I didn't watch tons and tons of his videos. And I saw him doing videos, like doing reviews on like other consumer electronics, I guess because of the problem getting wheels. But what does anyone know? Like, what is the issue getting wheels in the UK? Because other places in the world seem to still be able to get them. It's very weird. Ryan says, no stress as far as his riding. I'm a lame, easy rider. Okay, well, you ride like me then. George talking about Ian. I suspect some back problems are to blame. That's true. I know he does have back issues. He's talked about that before. Yeah. But I thought they were getting better, but maybe not. Ryan says, enough about me. I appreciate your time on it. I will connect with Jason just to give him data. Yeah, I would definitely run it by him and just see what his advice is. Because like I said, he has been just inundated with various issues with the S22s. So speaking on S22s, we've been speaking about Brian's S22. Mine, I had it. I was riding it early this week. Again, nice casual ride. Rode down the Greenway and then wound up riding into town and wound up taking it to a Publix to get some Cayman Jacks, as a matter of fact. So I had the S22 on its side under the shopping cart, on the area where you can put like waters or heavy things on the bottom of a shopping cart. And it was fine. But then when I came out, the wheel slid off of the shopping cart and dropped on the ground. It wasn't you know how far a shopping cart is. Here's the ground, here's the shopping cart. I mean, it was a few inches. It slid off and just dropped there. It wasn't anything that I paid any attention to at all. However, after getting back on the wheel, the ride back, I started to notice, especially if I leaned, I think it was to the left, I started hearing a clicking noise. I'm like, well, what the hell? I mean, how could that little drop off the cart cause this? And I don't know. But my KingSong S22 is a first batch S22. The stator has never been addressed, so it has the potential problem motor in it, but I never had any issue. And my thought always was, okay, well, unless I have an issue, I'm not going to do anything about it. And if I remember correctly, the noise I was hearing, it sort of reminded me of what people said potentially could be a sign that there is something going on. So I got nervous. I got home fine, but it was consistently making that noise when I leaned to the left. I mean, you'd almost think it was like a bearing noise, but I mean, there's no way that could cause a bearing issue when you're sliding off the card. So I don't know. So, anyways, I saw this as a sign that, okay, well, it's time to do something about this. But the problem is I got my S22 from Ray out in California. Remember the guy that Marty used to get his wheels from? He used to like kind of get them. He'd buy a bunch of wheels to get a better price and then sell them at a discount to local riders. Well, anywhere, actually, a lot of riders, not just local. So I bought that wheel from him after waiting for almost a year through eWheels and it getting delayed, and I got tired of it and I canceled my deposit there. But I wound up buying it through Ray. Ray is no longer selling wheels. Ray doesn't support the wheels. So that's one of the downsides of going that route is if you actually need support, you're kind of on your own. So, like I said, I always thought in my mind, okay, as long as I don't have any issues and I don't notice anything weird, I'm just going to roll with the motor as is. And then if something happens, then I'm going to address it. Well, this made me feel like I should address it. So I sent an email to Jason, but I didn't hear anything right away. But then I also sent an email. Someone, Roger out in California, suggested that I can reach out to I don't know how do you say his name? Hao Nonang, the guy that sells the S22 sliders in China. He also sells KingSong parts, including the upgraded KingSong Pro 4,000 watt motor. He sells it. So I reached out to him and found out how it works. You could buy one for like $400, I think, including shipping from China. And I hadn't heard anything from Jason, and I'm like, okay, well, because I didn't buy it from Jason, so I didn't really expect to get anything favorable from him, which I understood. So I wound up telling Hal that okay, I'll do it. So I PayPal'd him the money. And supposedly it's on its way, even though I don't have tracking information. I thought he said it was supposed to be like 3 to 7 day air shipping. I guess I should ask him where it is. But I haven't heard anything further since then. But a lot of people have bought from him. I'm reasonably sure that he's an honest seller. So I'm not worried about that. I just don't know how long it's going to take exactly. But in the meantime, like the next day or something, because Jason gets tons of emails, so he's not always real quick to respond to emails. He responds to me and says, "Oh yeah, sure, I can send you a motor with the upgraded. I guess they're putting upgraded NGK bearings in them as well." And yeah, he's sending me a motor, and it's supposed to arrive tomorrow. So I'm going to have that motor, and then I'm going to have the one that I paid $400 for from China. So I'll have 2 motors. So yeah, that'll be an upcoming project. Is me doing the motor on the S22. Those of you that know have seen the channel, you know that I've already swapped over to the street tire on that motor. So the good news is that means I'm going to have to fight with the tire again. But my experience the first time around should make this much easier, hopefully. But I will be having to swap the motor in the S22. So yeah, that's my S22 story. I don't know that it's a stator problem. I just know that it clicks leading to the left, and I'm going to use it as an excuse to swap out the motor. Leo talking about the UK wheel shortage. Madpack says it's a Brexit thing, but Ifees and others are still managing. So like people are pissed at the UK for dropping out of the EU. So they're getting squeezed when it comes to imports. Okay. Sounds reasonable. George says, I believe that several vendors were offering replacement motors under warranty. Get a spare. All right, George. Well, if you just listen to that story, I'm going to have 2 and the original. So yeah, I will have a spare motor. Amadel. Amadel, what you think there's all kinds of like drama going on in my life? Well, there is actually, or there has been. But Amadel says, what happened with Marty friendship? You were good friends and riding together. Did you move from, oh God, did you move far from Marty? Amadel, Marty lives in California. I live in Southwest Florida. I've ridden together with Marty twice. When I visited California in December of last year, and I met up with Marty and his crew, and I rode up to Mount Baldy with him, and I rode the Fullerton Loop with him. And no, Marty and I are still friends. I love Marty. I think Marty loves me, even though he'll never admit it. So yeah, that's the case. Yeah, Marty and I do not normally hang out in the same zip code, but not because we don't like each other. Stan, are EUC days numbered? Should we grab as many as we can before it's too late? I don't know. What are you talking about in regards to what? Regulation, them getting banned? What do you think? All right, one Cayman Jack down. I'm going to go get another. I'll be right back. It won't take long. Hold on. Just a quick aside, tonight I watched Extraction 2 with Chris Hemsworth. Just came out today in Netflix. Watch that. Might go see the new Flash movie on this weekend. That just came out. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So, Stan, are EC days numbered? Should we grab as many as we can before it's too late? Your guess is as good as mine, Stan. I don't know. Like back when I used to give a damn and when I used to complain about people doing irresponsible things riding, which I don't do anymore because I realized it was like pissing in the wind. I always said that was a potential thing. You know, if there's multiple incidents where like EUCs are involved in in accidents or reckless behavior or someone gets hurt, other than the EUC rider, I always thought that was a danger, that there could be a knee-jerk reaction where they start getting banned. So I don't know, Stan. Simon, clarifying things for Amadel. Thank you, Simon. George, old S22 motor can be fixed. Might need a local machine shop. Good for a backup. Well, yeah, I saw that video that Rev Rides did where they demonstrated the pinning process for the stator, which is fine. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have two motors. I'll have three motors if I keep my old one. I probably won't. Because in my new house, even though I do have room that I could store it, my new mindset is if I don't need it, get rid of it. You know, if my thought process is, oh, well, maybe on a rainy day, I might need this somewhere down the road. No, F it. It's gone. I'm not reaccumulating a ton of shit. Stan, are Michelin tires worth a swap? Well, that's what I have on my S22, the Street Pilot 2 or Pilot Street 2, whatever it is. I mean, I like it. I didn't dislike the tire that came with the S22, but I like the Michelin tire. If you look at my videos and you look at the process that I went through installing it, boy, it was frustrating. I ripped two tubes in the process until I used a technique that a few people suggested to me that made it much less of a headache. And I think I technically I might have gotten the tire on with no tools the third time using this technique. And it's nothing mysterious. Basically, the technique is when you're trying to seat the tire, like say you have the top side seated already, you want to have the lip down into the V of the rim, and what that does is it gives you extra room that you can pop the opposite side in, and that's what I finally did to make that happen. So I would have to do it again. I guess I will. Brian has the Michelin Street Pilot and loved them. Yeah. Well, my S22 is the only wheel that has it for me. But generally speaking, people seem to really like them, especially if you're primarily a road rider. Now, if you ride trails, no, it's not a great tire for that. Simon, what am I drinking? Now, you missed before I talked about this. Cayman Jack, buddy. This is my new Zima. I now drink a lot more than I used to for various reasons. But Cayman Jack goes down so easy, man. So easy. I mean, I can just drink these like crazy. Like, I've been doing a lot of riding and drinking these at the same time. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud, but yeah. Brian says, in our neighborhood, the middle school kids in big e-bikes are getting everyone upset with PEVs. Well, yeah. I see the same thing around here. Like, it seems like there's tons and tons of e-bikes, and these are e-bikes that go 30 miles an hour. And you see these dudes on these e-bikes, and they are just flying, many cases flying down the sidewalk at 30 miles an hour on these big, like they almost look like beach cruisers with big fat tires and shit. And they're fast, man. I mean, that kind of stuff it's gonna draw attention for sure. Oh, Dale's here. Hey, man, what's up, Dale? A channel member. Thanks for stopping in. Dale is riding in South Bank at the moment, wherever that is. All right, Dale. I saw you recently visited your sister. I saw that on Facebook. Congratulations. Hope it was a good visit. Or maybe you're still visiting. Who knows? Babbitt to Wabbit. Eventually, EUCs will be regulated, registered, liability insured. You think? I don't know. I mean, if it's going to happen to EUCs, it would happen to bikes as well, right? E-bikes? I don't know. I can't say that I agree or disagree. I do not know. So, yeah, that's my S22 story. Supposedly tomorrow, my motor from eWheels. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. It's very nice of him to take care of me like that. Is supposed to arrive. And I did ask him about the patent. I actually emailed him last week on stream about the patent, and I did not hear a response regarding that. But that's fine. Why not go tubeless on the S22? Tubeless always a better job. I don't know. Is it? What's it? I don't. What is the advantage to going tubeless to you? I mean, if you get a hole in the tire, you still got to patch it, right? Well, I mean, I don't know. I would say a tubeless tire has more of a tendency or more of ability to leak. Maybe I don't know. I have seen people go tubeless. I mean, going tubeless on this wheel is basically just getting a different valve, right? One of those valves that has rubber on both sides of it, so it seals better. But no, I'm not going to go tubeless. It's fine. Simon looked up Cayman Jack. Yes. It's funny, the way that I became introduced to Cayman Jack. It's making me burp, though. I don't remember if I talked about this before or not. When I moved into the house, the old owners used to have a refrigerator. I think I did talk about this in the live stream because I drank a lot of the beer that was in there on stream, and some of it was really shitty. But they had a fridge in the garage. And one of the things they had in there is, I think, 1 or 2 Cayman Jacks, which I never heard of before, never saw them before. And they actually weren't the cans, they were the glass ones. They have like little glass ones as well, which I have a couple of those in the fridge as well. But that is where I discovered Cayman Jacks. And I drank one. I'm like, oh, shit, man, this is pretty good. And, yeah, it gets you drunk. So, yeah, I like them. Stan, Begode Extreme. Begode Extreme or Veteran Patent? For me, it would be the Patent, even though I haven't ridden either. Just based on my experience with the Sherman S, I have a feeling that I would really like the Patent. If I could take my T4, hand my T4 over to someone and say, okay, can I have a Veteran Patent? I would do it in a second, even though the T4 is fine. T4 is fine, but it's not a Patent. I mean, the quality and features and power and speed, there's a big difference. Patent looks great. I wouldn't mind having one. Babbitt to Wabbit, I quit drinking and then took up riding. The reverse is not the best practice, methinks, though I know lots of peeps do. Well, good for you, man. I typically don't drink much, but I definitely have been drinking more the last 3 months, maybe since April, May, June. Yeah, almost 3 months. Murray says tubeless is better balanced at high speed like a motorbike. Okay. Makes sense. Simon says you can plug and fix a tire on the road with tubeless. Seating a new tire in the B can be a pain, though. Yeah, it's true. It's true. You have to, seat the bead. Like I've changed the tire on my one wheel, tubeless, and yeah, bead seating can be a challenge. But it's true. You can plug and fix it. I've actually done that twice on my Tesla, which is not approved practice. But my Tesla tires have 2 plugs in them. Took 2 nails and I went to Costco to get them fixed, and they said, "Oh, sorry, we don't patch Tesla tires." I'm like, "Why?" And they said because they have the Tesla tires from the factory. They have this inside the tire. They have this acoustic foam, I guess, which is supposed to reduce road noise. So, and Costco had done it for me in the past on my Tesla Model 3. But when I took my Model Y there, they said, no, we stopped doing it on Teslas because we had too many problems. I'm like, well, what kind of problems? And I guess supposedly they had an issue, because when you patch one of those tires, you have to pull the foam back wherever the hole is and then patch it. Maybe we're having issues getting good seals or whatever, but they stopped patching Tesla tires. So I went and bought a $5 plug kit and just, screwed it in, popped it out and trimmed it off, and it's been fine. Neither of the tires that I've plugged have lost any pressure whatsoever. So I always thought the plugging, I always heard that plugging tires was a terrible thing. It's dangerous. Don't want to plug the tire. It needs to be pulled and patched from the inside. I don't know that that's true anymore. Joseph, the tubeless you can plug style patch in the field, just like I described. Dale might be selling your T4 and getting the Extreme. Did you get your replacement motor for the T4 yet, Dale? I mean, the Extreme does sound a lot better than the T4 for sure, right? Yeah, it does. Yeah, I would do that if I could. Murray says a tube is better on a slow turning wheel. Okay. Leslie W. You're still rocking an MSX 84 volt. Nice, man. I had an MSX 84 volt. I loved it. Super cool. I sold it to a guy that lives up in Delaware. I'm forgetting his name at the moment. He used to be in social media talking about riding with his son, but I haven't seen anything from him in a long time, so I don't know what happened. But yeah, I like my MSX. And I had an M Super V3 before that, which I was at the time was super cool. 67 volt. Simon, I drink and ride, not smash drunk, just a few beers in the journey. A bar is a good place to stop and charge. Yeah. I'm not going to get shit-faced, for sure. Dale, I drink 16 beers and hit stairs backwards. Yes, I know, Dale. Okay, so let me segue. Oh, wait. Simon's riding an MSX 84 as your commuter wheel. Okay, good. Cool. So let me talk about that thumbnail. If you saw it. Wait, can I bring this picture up here? Let me see. Can I do this? Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. Those of you that did not see the thumbnail, I can have this on the screen while I talk about it. Maybe. I don't know. Wait, let's make sure we're not showing any PI. All right, let's do that. And let's minimize that. And close that. Okay. So we're going to share a window. We'll share this window. There we go. All right. So what that you see there is my base camp helmet, my SF999 helmet that I did a review on my channel about. It's a cool helmet. Has integrated Bluetooth speakers, a Bluetooth microphone, turn signals in the back, and a visibility light in the back as well. Did a review on the helmet, liked the helmet a lot. So Amadel was asking if I'm single or not. I've been dating a woman, and I've talked about her before. Her name's Christine, and I taught her how to ride the one wheel, and it wasn't really. I didn't have to do a whole lot because she has experience surfing, longboarding, so she has experience with side stance balancing, and she picked up the one wheel GT very, very quickly. I basically told her the basics, like how you stop it and how you accelerate and brake, and she took it from there. And she's gotten very, very good at it. Shortly, I mean, I would say she's been riding for, I don't know, a month maybe. She's probably ridden it 5 times, 6 times. I have this thing in my wrist that's annoying me. Alexa, add compound W to the shopping list. I'm not.
Compound W.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's a wart or what it is, but it's annoying me. So I'm gonna burn that shit off. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, Christine's been getting very good at riding, and I've ridden with her. I'm on an EUC because I only have a one wheel, and we've ridden various spots. Like we actually went out to the swamp, and she rode that one wheel through the swamp and did surprisingly well. Like, believe it or not, I've never taken the one wheel to the swamp because I didn't want to deal with the hassle. And she actually did very, very well. She only had to step off a few times. I took her to the golf course, the abandoned golf course that I've ridden a few times, with the undulating golf cart paths that have angle, they have incline, decline. She did very well in all those. And she's only been getting better. So Wednesday, we were riding. We rode. She lives relatively close to the Greenway, so we rode in the Greenway. And she started taking up carving. She's starting to feel confident enough to carve on the one wheel, and doing very, very good. So as she was riding, I was noticing. I was seeing the nose come up, and I was looking at the speedometer. I had the T4. I was looking at the speedometer, and I was noticing on the T4 was saying that we're going 20, 21, 22. Usually the speedometer on the wheel is a little high, so we were probably really going 19 maybe. Typically a GT will start to nose up at about 19 miles an hour. The posted top speed is 20, and but people have gone much faster on GTs. I've seen people that have almost gotten up to 30 miles an hour on a GT. So you can push it, but with a one wheel, the way that it lets you know that you are approaching the danger zone is it starts to raise the nose, sort of like an EUC with the way it tips the pedals back. One wheel will bring the nose up. And I noticed when she was riding that she was going fast, and I could see the nose going up. And I said, "Can you feel that? Can you feel that it's raising it?" And she said, "Oh no, I didn't really notice." But I told her, I said, 20 miles an hour, that's kind of the limit on it. So you have to watch out. And I was trying to monitor her, with the speedometer on the T4, just to remind her to slow down when necessary. So anyways, we're on the way back. This is after riding, I don't know, 10 miles or so. We're cruising along. We're probably about a mile from her place. She's carving back and forth. And all of a sudden, bang, nose drops, and she goes down hard. She rides goofy, so her left foot was back. So she went down right side first, and the way, and like I said, it was too fast to even verify it. But the way that her injuries looked, she went down and she probably hit her shoulder, and then she hit her head. You can see what happened to the helmet. The helmet is cracked. It's ground up. She hit really hard. She's probably going at least 20 when it happened, and she was basically knocked out. Like I dumped the T4 over to the side of the road, ran back to her, and when she turned over, her eyes were open, but she couldn't respond. Like she was out. Like she couldn't talk. And it was some scary shit. She had on helmet and she had on wrist guards, so she didn't have anything on her elbows, she didn't have anything on her knees, and as you can imagine, she has road rash in all those areas as well as other areas. But there was a woman that was riding a bike nearby. I guess that was an EMT, and she said, "Oh yeah, you better call 911," and I did. And the ambulance came, and they tested her. I mean, she eventually regained normal functionality. She was able to talk and all that kind of stuff. But they advised her to go to the hospital. With a head injury, you don't mess around, because even though she had the helmet on, she smacked hard on the side of her head, and she actually she had some scrapes on that side on her cheek as well from the impact. So it was really, really bad, and she had no recollection of going down. And she had no recollection of what happened right afterwards until she could start to talk again. So she was out for, I don't know, unaware for 5 minutes, something like that. So anyways, they release her. She has to sign a waiver to get released. She does not want to go to the hospital, which I understand. I mean, I don't want to go to the hospital either, but it's a head injury, so you have to be careful. So I kept an eye on her all night, and the following morning, her shoulder was killing her as well. I mean, she really hit her shoulder, although she had full range of motion, so nothing was probably broken, nothing was probably torn, but I mean, she had really, really bad pain in her shoulder. And of course, all the road rash, stings like crazy. But anyways, the next morning, she was complaining of a lot of dizziness and nausea, which was severe. And I finally talked her into going to the ER. We went there. The waiting area was empty. We were the only ones there, and it still took, I don't know, an hour till we saw the doctor for some reason. I don't know why. So she described, what happened, and I was there to kind of confirm it. And they said that they were very surprised that the ambulance crew even allowed her to not go to the hospital, just because this kind of injury can be really, really bad. I mean, you've heard multiple stories about when people hit their heads, and initially they think they're okay, and then hours later or the next day, they actually have a brain bleed going on, and you didn't know it, and it can kill you. So and I was very, very concerned about that. So she talked to the doctor, and he ordered head CT, and they did x-rays on her shoulder and her hip. Her hip was hit as well. So the good news was the x-rays didn't show that anything was broken, and the CT showed that she didn't have like a brain bleed or anything, but her face was definitely swollen, and the road rash hurt as well. So they released her, but they warned her that with concussion, you can have symptoms from a week up to several weeks, which I've always heard about, with like football players and stuff, the post-concussion syndrome. And I can tell you that's a real thing. That's a real thing, because now we are, Friday, and she still is having a dizziness. If she moves too fast, like I'm concerned about her even driving right now. So it was a pretty scary scenario. Like I've crashed bad on my electric skateboard years ago, but it wasn't anything like this. I mean, I did not smack my head like this. I mean, it was a significant impact, as you can tell by looking at that helmet. So I think she'll be fine long term. But it was a really shocking reminder of the function that gear has. I mean, if she didn't have a helmet on, skull fracture for sure. She might be dead. I mean, it was a really, really severe impact. So it was a very good reminder. Now, luckily, it's not like she's not the type that's like, oh wow, I'm scared, I'm not gonna ever do it again. No, she's not like that. But she will be wearing much more significant gear in the future, and she might even wear a full face. I don't know. We'll see. But it was an eye opener for sure. Having it happen to you is one thing, but having it happen to someone else, and I felt kind of responsible, because like I should have told her to slow down. At that point she was probably half battery or less on the one wheel. And I should have been aware enough to tell her to slow down, and I didn't. and she was overconfident, and she didn't know. I mean, she didn't have the experience with PEVs like I do. So I mean, I really felt bad that I did not tell her to slow down. I should have. Yep, scary crash. I've never seen someone knocked out before. Like I said, her eyes were open, but it was just there was no one home. There was no one home. I've not had that situation before. One wheel accidents, yes. Yeah. And I think another part of it was she probably wasn't realizing that the board was tipping her up, and she might have just been pushing down on it. That's kind of what I think. Now the other possibility is right around where she went down. I did find a big piece of metal, like a big thick U-clamp that was in the middle of the road for some reason. So it's possible that she hit that could have contributed to the crash, but I don't remember like hearing it fly or anything, but it's possible. So that could be a possibility as well. But I tend to think it was just going too fast, probably. Babbitt the Wabbit. F's sake. Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. Yeah, I felt terrible. I mean, because I don't know. I felt really bad. Daily One. That's why we wear gear. Yes, that's right. Yep. Like I said, if she didn't have the helmet on, she went down so hard. Yeah, she was. I'm trying to remember, was she in front of me or behind me? I think she was in front of me. Yeah, I think she was in front of me a little bit, and she went down, and I just pulled over and ran over there. But man, it was milliseconds. Murray says, "Tell her better to ride an EUC." Yeah, I mean, she wants to learn to ride that. Like she thought that she would get good at the one wheel first and then try an EUC. But I mean, she really loves the one wheel. She loves riding it. Daly says that ambulances can't force people to go to the hospital. Well, I guess they can if the person doesn't sign a waiver, evidently. Because, like I said, she had to sign a waiver saying that she's denying care or whatever, or the recommendation. Okay, well, that's I guess that makes sense. But in retrospect, no, she should have. I mean, she should have, but yeah, because if she had a brain bleed, then it would have been really bad. The only advantage of going the next day is it was enough time had passed to rule that out, I guess. But if it would have been a brain bleed, then yeah, that wouldn't have been good. Murray says, "Glad she is okay." Yeah, it is safer unless you unless you're going 50 miles an hour, instead of 20. That's not good either. But if you're doing that, hopefully you are in full gear. George says, "Always ice the heck out of your head after a crash. Ice is the miracle drug. No NSAIDs or aspirin." Well, she did have ice in her head, but she was using ibuprofen. She was using NSAIDs. Advil, specifically. So why? What's the problem with using an NSAID after a head injury? I don't know. Daly says the waiting room at the hospital might be empty, but the cubicles inside would be full. Maybe. It was interesting, like her X-rays. Like I haven't had X-rays lately. No, I haven't. The X-ray rig, it was like a mobile X-ray rig. They just carted it into her room, had like an arm, and they could just position it whatever they had to X-ray, and they put like the panel behind her, the spot that they were X-raying. And they did the whole thing in the room, the main treatment room, while she was in the bed, which was cool. And the CT scan, obviously, they could not do that, but X-rays they could. She has good insurance, thankfully, but I can only imagine the bill, because let's see, we got in there about 7:30 and left about 11:30. I would not be surprised if the bill was 30 grand, 20 grand, 20 to 30 grand. I bet. based on my experience when I was last in a ER. I was in an ER years ago when I thought I had a stroke, and it was actually Bell's palsy. I was in the ER for an hour and a half, and the bill was $9,000. Yeah, welcome to healthcare in America. Okay. Patrick B. I apparently hit a tree skiing. I don't recall, but I had 14 brain bleeds and spent 4 days in the ICU. Oh my God, dude. You're lucky. Shit. Like, what do they do when you have brain bleeds? How do they treat them? Do they go in there and they cauterize them? Or what do they do if you have a brain bleed? I know you have to relieve, like, if, depending on the brain bleed, you have to relieve the pressure, obviously. So it was kind of crazy, but you were out skiing a week later? Really? What? Many CT and other scans that day. How could you be skiing a week after having 14 brain bleeds, dude? Holy shit. Helmet needs to be on properly too. Knocked myself out last year because my helmet came up. Well, yeah, I'm wondering if she got the scratches on her face because the helmet wasn't as tight to her chin as it should be as well. It's possible. Could have shifted when she went down. It's possible. It was way too fast to tell, though. Patrick, prayers for you all. Sorry to hear. Thank you, Patrick. I think she'll be okay, but it's going to be... Concussions symptoms can linger. Like I said, the dizziness, the nausea, and you can just basically just feel tired. Just basically feel like shit for an extended period of time. Daily One, what's Cayman Jack? It's Cayman Jack is this. That's Cayman Jack. Oh, actually, I forgot. I actually brought the helmet in. I'm not quite sure why. But here is the helmet you just saw the picture of. You can see how the plastic here is cracked. That is cracked. The speakers still work. But I mean, just look how deep and how ground in the freaking plastic is in this thing, man. It is. It took a shot. Trying to see if the inside. Yeah, it looks like just this portion here is cracked, but it looks like the inside foam does not look cracked. But this side does not have a ton of padding. You have the foam that lines the whole inside of it. But this side does not have a ton of padding. So, but I mean, after she fell, I mean, she was very, very. Oh yeah, okay. Let's see what. Yes, if you see this, you probably can't see it. This is like pushed in here, like that got all pushed in. It's supposed to be straight like that. So, helmet took a beating. But she was very, very grateful she had this on because originally when she started to ride, she was like resistance to wearing a helmet even. Like she didn't want to wear gear. I'm like, you have to wear at least a helmet. I mean, so thankfully she was wearing a helmet, but I can guarantee you she'll be wearing more going forward. And I told her that unfortunately that's a very common scenario that people don't sign on to wearing full gear until something bad happens, unfortunately. One wheel, way more dangerous, false sense of security. Well, like anything, if you ride within reason, within the limits, you have to know the limits. But like for me, it's very obvious when the board tilts. I think she just wasn't realizing it, and maybe because she was carving as well, it's harder for her to feel that tilt. But I mean, it is pretty easy to know when the board's telling you to slow down. Simon says one wheel is more dangerous than EUC. They cut out at such a low speed. Well, I wouldn't want to go much faster than 20 miles an hour on a one wheel, personally. But yeah, I mean, Future Motion's been sued. There, I think there's a class action lawsuit against Future Motion regarding one wheels and cutouts and injuries and that kind of stuff. But to be fair, I mean, Future Motion is very, very clear on what safe riding is and safe speeds and what the behavior is to notify you. It's just like, some people don't pay attention to that. And of course, at lower battery levels, you're going to have less leeway. So All right, Daly, talking about ambulances forcing you to go to the hospital. AMBOs can force people to go to the hospital if they are incapable of making good, rational decisions. We will make decisions on your behalf for your safety. All right. But I mean, in this scenario, when you're talking head injury, I mean, I can understand the recommendation to go to a hospital, to be quite honest. And I can understand her feeling. I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't like hospitals. I think they're ridiculously expensive. But in certain situations, it just makes sense. Aspirin's a blood thinner. Oh, okay. So that's why no NSAIDs, because well, yeah, same thing with Advil. So that's not good for bleeds. Okay. Well, I'll know it for next time. Dale, and I guess you're referring to my ER visit, $9,000 for 90 minutes. That's effed. We will get that for free. Yes. Well, we don't want to talk about healthcare comparisons between different countries in the world, do we? No. All right. Wow. See, I just finished that second Cayman Jack. All right, I'm gonna go get another one. What is it? 10:09. I got time to drink another one. Hold on. Right back. So fast. See, that's one of the advantages of having a smaller house. It doesn't take as long to get to the refrigerator. That was a unforeseen advantage. I didn't really realize that. All right. Simon, injuring yourself in the U.S. is expensive AF. Yes. Yep. Yeah. I mean, don't get me started. The healthcare system in the United States is so ridiculous. It really is. Patrick B. Sit it out. Nothing that I can recall. Patrick. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Patrick. Oh, you're talking about your skiing accident? Okay. Mm-hmm. Brian, glad it ended well, Duff. It's a scary story. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not out of it yet. I mean, I just visited her tonight and she was dizzy. Still dizzy. And it scares her, which I understand. Scares her. You get a tap on the head, extreme. Yeah. Oh, daily. I had a Bell's palsy last year. Cost for seeing optometrist and Dr. Nothing free. Where are you at, Daly? Where do you live? Yeah, when I had Bell's palsy, and this is when I was still with Cindy, all of a sudden I noticed that, what was it? Oh, I had a hard time closing my eye on the one side, and my mouth started feeling weird. And she looked at me and she's like, your face is looking weird. And she got nervous, and I did too. And she's like, it almost looks like you're having a stroke. And I'm like, what? So we went there to the ER, and the nurse looked at me, and she thought I was having a stroke as well, based on the way my face looked. Rushed me in, and they did a CT, and they said, no, you don't have a stroke. You know, your brain scan is fine, but you probably have Bell's palsy. And if you look into Bell's palsy, but basically what Bell's palsy does is, like, one side of your face, you kind of lose control of it. Like, I had a hard time. I couldn't blink this eye right. I couldn't control the muscles in my face right. It was hard to like drink because half your mouth didn't work right. It's really weird. And the scary thing is you can have Bell's palsy for like years. You don't really know. Like, they said it has something to do with like an issue with like nerves on the one side of your face get screwed. And the weird thing is this happened to me right after I had stitches removed for skin cancer surgery at the dermatologist. It happened, I think, the day after. And I contacted him and said, "Hey, were you doing any work on and near the nerves that control the other side of the face? Because like the nerves for this side of the face, or the control for this side of the face is actually over here, is my understanding." And of course, he said, no, of course, because it's liability. But it seems very coincidental that happened the day after I had my stitches removed. But the good news is it was completely gone within 2 weeks. But somewhere I have like a picture of me trying to smile when I had Bell's palsy. It looked freaking freaky, guys. It was freaky. And luckily, I have not had a reoccurrence. Daily, Cayman Jack is beer. No, Cayman Jack is a margarita style drink. Tastes like a margarita. You ever have a margarita? Made with key lime and agave nectar, and I guess tequila. I guess, I don't know. It tastes like a margarita, like you would get at a bar or something. Not beer. Wow, maybe I'm getting a little drunk. Ratman says, "I won't ride without full gear unless just giving a 2-second demo on smooth ground and then real careful on no speed." It's smart. And I don't wear full gear in every situation, which isn't smart. Patrick says, "Yeah, it's really easy to max out on one wheel. I can make it happen anytime. I can't wait to get a bigger motor Vesk." Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking about the Vesk. That's the open source controller for the one wheel where you can do all sorts of customization to the riding behavior. I don't ride my one wheel enough to go down that road. Oh man, I keep belching. Sorry. To get a Vesk, but yeah, I have been following that. George, what? I'm moving to Southeast Asia just to get medical care. What, do they have government-sponsored healthcare in Southeast Asia? Where at? U.S. healthcare is an abomination, and I've worked as a surgical tech briefly. Yeah, no, well, it is. It is. For-profit healthcare, for massive profit healthcare, right? It's crazy, right? But the issue is it'll never change. It'll never change because the lobbyists control basically what happens as far as U.S. policy goes with healthcare. It'll never change, never, because there's way too much money wanting to keep it the way it is. And that applies to a lot of things as far as government policy goes. George says, "Last year I went to Mexico just to get teeth cleaned and some ivermectin, which actually saved my life when I had a cytokine storm from COVID." Really? Wow. Yeah, ivermectin was very hard to get. I don't know if it still is, but it was very hard to get in the worst part of COVID. Oh, so Daly lives in Australia as well. Okay. Well, I mean, most modern first world countries do have state sponsored healthcare, right? United States is one of the very few, and it's so funny. I mean, the attitude we have over here sometimes is funny. It's like the rest of the world doesn't exist, and if they're doing something different than what the United States is doing, well, even though the rest of the world's doing it, they don't know what they're doing. This is great. We have the best healthcare in the world. No, bullshit. That is not true. But they'll tell you that because that's what the medical insurance, pharmaceutical companies want you to believe. So they will tell you that. Oh, Simon confirmed Daly's from Australia. Well, I believe you. Anyone here from Arc Rides recently? I've heard that name, but I don't know much about him. I think I've heard of Arc Rides, though. Let's see. Arc is in Adelaide. He's going okay, not super sick anymore. All right, we're talking about Australia stuff. Yeah, I know ivermectin is a dewormer, but I thought they had two kinds. Like they had the stuff that's for humans, and then they had animal grade ivermectin. Did I ever give my chickens ivermectin? No. We used to give them dewormer stuff, but was it ivermectin? I don't think it was. No. Simon says, healthcare is not completely free in Australia. It's heavily subsidized, though. You pay a fraction. Okay, well, that's fine. Like I said, I mean, Christine has good insurance, so hopefully it's fine. But, man, I mean, some of these policies are ridiculous. Like you pay huge deductibles and your copay is outrageous. I mean, it's a very common scenario that people in the United States, they have a significant medical event, it bankrupts them. It bankrupts them. They could go through their whole life trying to be diligent and saving and preparing for retirement. They have a major health issue, and they get bankrupted. It's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. But it's the kind of thing like people don't take it seriously until it happens to them, like most things, right? It's ridiculous, healthcare in the United States, in my opinion. Oz Crow Performance IND, good day. I'm guessing you might be an Australian as well, Oz Crow. Welcome, buddy. Daily, I'm just out of Geelong. Okay. All you Australian guys. I think there's probably more Australians in here than anything. Okay, so Ratman says that Arc Rides has given up riding a lot. Okay. I don't ride nearly as much as I thought I was going to ride once I moved. I've had other things going on in my life. Murray says ivermectin is anti-parasite. Horse paste and human is the same. I thought there was a difference, though. Okay, maybe not. Who knows? There was so much information and disinformation flying around during COVID. Who knows what the hell is true? I don't know. The whole thing is very frustrating. Oz Crow's from Melbourne. Okay. Cool, dude. So it's lunchtime here. And oi, oi, oi. Yes, I've heard Australians say that. Not sure what it means, but yeah, I've heard Australians say that. So I'm trying to think what else is going on. So we talked about my S22 issues. We talked about Brian's S22 issues and the reality of crashing at high speeds on a one wheel. I've been following the extreme stuff. Chance is like I don't know. Chance is like a core developer with Pagode now. I don't know. Dale, you should try to get in on some of that action, right? Since you're a Pagode fanboy now and you got your T4. But it seems like I guess Chance got an early model Extreme, and he's had good things to say about it. And I guess he has some feedback that they're giving him, and they're gonna implement the feedback, which is good. I mean, if the end result is releasing a wheel that doesn't immediately have a dozen things that need to be fixed on batch 2, that would be great. So if that's the end result of this, that's fine for me. Oh, I see some good questions here. Oscro, you got 1,000-pound shock for your master? Do you do like ridiculous jumps? Why do you need 1,000 pound? What do you mean, the spring? Is it a spring deal? 1,000 pound. Oof. Yeah, either you're a big dude or you do some crazy riding. So has the president of Pagode say he's going to send you the Extreme, Dale? This is like a bizarro universe where Dale is getting favor from Pagode. I mean, what world are we living in? Are you still dating the 3 sisters? Did I talk about that? I was never dating the 3 sisters. You're talking about Gladys's sisters. Gladys has 3 sisters. Gladys and I are good friends, and we've hung out. But she has 3 sisters that live here in Pennsylvania, and I'm friends with all of them. I'm friends with her family. But no, I was never dating them. Her sister Monique and I have gone out and done a lot of just stuff as friends. Like we've gone to movies, gone to dinner, we've ridden around and stuff. But no, nothing like that. But there are other scenarios in my life in the last 3 months that are confusing, to say the least. Confusing, frustrating, weird. There's been some of that. Dale got a free wheel without sucking up. Are you saying that Chance sucked up to Bagode? I've seen the Dale sent me the one meme of Dale or of Chance. What was he performing sexual favors to get favor with Bagode or something like that? Dale says, I'll tell them what I want in a wheel and then act like I made the thing myself. Oh, you. So again, that is a shot at Chance, evidently. I mean, I don't know. I know Chance is a big trail rider. I don't know a lot about Chance. It always makes me laugh a little bit when riders in the community act like they, that they were I don't know, that they were developers of the wheel. This scenario has happened before. I'm not going to name names. But there's been riders that have been very happy to take credit for things, which is fine, I guess. I don't know. It just seems weird. James, Bagode Extreme on the way to you? How's that? How'd you work that, dude? It's not even officially being produced yet, right? I'm really disappointed that they have not contacted me to do a voiceover for some of their promotional materials, where I can go extreme. I'm really disappointed that they have not contacted me for that, since I clearly am the inventor of the extreme. Chance might be one of the developers, but I am the inventor of the extreme. Seriously. Ozcrow talking about his 1,000-pound shock. It's an oil-filled coil shock. Okay. So what is the deal? Do you do really severe off-roading, or are you a bigger guy, or how come you need a 1,000-pound shock? Ozcrow did a 1-foot drop last night, getting better. My new top speed is 67 kilometers an hour. Okay. What on your master, right? You had a master. Okay. Cool. 1-foot drop. Yeah, that's a decent drop for sure. Dale talking about the extreme. Not yet. They're going to do me a great price, though, and selling my T4 will cover most of it. Really? I'd still rather have a patent, honestly. I don't know. I may be stupid and get a patent. I don't know. I'll sell my T4 and get a patent. I don't know. That'd be stupid, though. But I can tell you reliably that I sometimes do stupid things. You heard it here first. I've been known to do stupid things. We'll leave it at that. Daly says, so he wouldn't put out. Oh, Dale wouldn't put out? Or she wouldn't put out? Simon talking about this 1,000-pound shock. Is it the same shock that Neil had on his master? Well, I don't know who Neil is. So, but Oscar says yes. Good to know. Murray, we have to learn you to talk Aussie with Aussie pronounced Aussie. I think of bin. What? Melbourne is pronounced Melbourne, and Brisbane is pronounced Brisbane. Okay, and I have heard that. I have heard people say that. I'm just I'm just a Pennsylvania guy that lives in Florida. Even though I don't really know that I have an accent. Some people have said I do, but if I have heard it, I don't know. I think I talk normal. Oscar 90-90-14 Michelin. So what, do you have the Michelin Street Pilot? Like I have my S22. I think that's what I have, 90-90-14. Tommy who fooled everybody last week into thinking that he said to the Inmotion president, emotional damage. I listened back to the podcast last week. That was freaking funny. Teach him to say Geelong. Geelong, emotional damage. I don't know. How do you say Geelong? I would say Geelong. Although it sounds like a place in China. Yep, there you go. Brisbane, Melbourne. Gotcha. So you're loving your master. So it's what batch are they up to with the master? Is it 4th or 5th batch master where they fixed a shitload of things? How many? Oh, Oscar, you only been riding 3 months, really, dude? Okay, I've been riding since I don't know, 2015 or 2016. I seem to have a hard time remembering when I started. Marty and I started about the same time. Let me just look at something here. Wait, let's do this. Learning. Backwards. No, we got only 8 videos. You see. Shit. Hold on. I want to see when I first started. First started riding. Lunch cruise. No. Bear with me. Checking. Ninebot Z10. Campaign 2016. 200 miles. It's looking. Hold on. Quest for 100 miles. It looks like I started in 2016, not 2015. Yeah, I think it was okay. Yeah, I think it was like spring of 2016. Based on, yeah, spring, like late spring 2016 is when I started riding. So that's what, 7 years ago. So 3 months. That's cool, dude. Sounds like you are much further ahead in the curve than I was at 3 months. Simon, I think I want a patent. Is you're teetering between that and what, Simon? Oscro, patent. Leaky oil from shock will bottom out if you're over 70 kg. And motorbolt snap. I had not heard about motorbolt snaps on the patent, and I had not heard about leaking oil on the patent. I've heard about that on the Sherman S. I had not heard about that on the patent. I'm not disputing it. I just had not heard about it. Simon says it's G-long, as in G-whiz. Isn't that kind of what I said? G-long. Oscro's master batch 2. Did you buy it new or used? Oscar. G-long. Yes, Daly. I got it. You have a T4 batch 4. My T4 is batch 1. I had to I got the upgrade from Alien Rise where I got a whole new motor because the batch 1 T4s, like the S22, had the motor issue where there's a possibility of a stator slip. So I got the new motor, I got the knobby tire, I got the kickstand for the T4, and I did all that on video. That was at the old house, and it was kind of a pain in the ass. It's the Cliff Notes version. Dale started in February 2015. All right, Dale. So you probably started a little more than a year ahead of me. Simon's only 65 kg. Let's see. How much do I weigh in kg? I always forget. Let me see. I weigh about 81 kg. Somewhere around there. Oscar says, you should be right, but I would rather the extreme, faster and cheaper than the patent. I'm not debating that, but the extreme is oh god, sorry. Ugh, I'm getting tired. The extreme is an unknown quantity. No matter what Chance says, it's an unknown quantity. You need to. I mean, I've been burned by this a million times. When you get like a first batch anything, I mean, the odds are that there's going to be a significant issue with it. So, and I've experienced that myself lots of times. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the extreme has that as well. Tommy chiming in. I have to poop, but I'm not near a bathroom. So, what do you do in that situation, Tommy? I mean, I know you're in New York City, so I mean, pooping on the sidewalk is not out of the question. I know that. I know that's a pretty regular occurrence in New York City. So I'm kind of curious how you're going to handle that situation. Simon started in July of 2020. Okay, well, that's 3 years. Dale's encouraged you, Tommy, just to let it fly. Okay. Spartacus. Oh, Spartacus. Did you just get in here, Spartacus? If you were here earlier, I missed you. Grab one of Hubert's Depends. Let go in your pants, Tommy. It's the ultimate freedom. I've only had that happen once as an adult. Is it once? Yeah. Should I tell the story? It's kind of gross. I don't know. I'll tell it in a clean way that won't offend YouTube, hopefully. So I used to do running. I used to run, I'm not a great runner, but I used to run 5Ks. The longest distance I ever ran was a half marathon. I did that 3 times. I ran 3 half marathons. Not that fast. I think the fastest 5K I ever did was maybe 23 and a half minutes, something like that. That was only once. Not that fast. But I used to run. So I used to do these 5Ks and stuff. And one time I was scheduled to do a 5K up in Fort Myers, which is 30 miles north of me. And it was a run over a bridge. And at the time I was married to my ex-wife, Allison. She didn't go. I went by myself for some reason. And I went up there and I found a place to park. It was hard to find a place to park, but I wasn't feeling good. My stomach felt unsettled, which isn't abnormal. Like usually, before a race, like you have nerves, jitters, that kind of stuff. That's why lots of times before, it's important to have porta potties at races because lots of people have this, and before they run, they want to kind of relieve themselves, right? I just wasn't feeling good. And I just had pulled up there, and I accidentally made a mess in my pants before the race. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. This is really unfortunate. This is really bad timing. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do. Do I want to just say F it and just go home? I'm like, I drove all the way up here. I paid money to do the race. I mean, what am I going to do? So I come up with a plan where I parked. There was a grocery store relatively close. So I walk there with a mess in my pants. and I go to the bathroom and I take off my pants and my underwear and what I did, I think I stuffed them in a trash can, and then I tried to clean up as best I could. And then I just had on shorts with no underwear, and then I went out and I ran the race. I ran the race after that, and it was hard. I remember it was hard, like running over a bridge and stuff. It was hard. It was windy, and I remember almost collapsing at the end because I don't remember if I was sick or what the deal was, but. So yeah, that happened to me, and I don't know. I didn't enjoy the feeling personally, even though Simon says it's the ultimate freedom. I didn't feel free. I felt uncomfortable. You just got the V13 to demo. Who'd you get it from, Tommy? Who'd you get the demo from? Simon says between the patent or a bigger suspension wheel, but all the latest wheels are so massive. Yeah. I mean, I really appreciate, like, just riding the T4 the other day. I appreciate having a wheel that I don't have to, deadlift into a vehicle. T4 is easy to control, fast enough, good enough range for probably 95% of the situations that I would need it. It's just, I mean, just the build quality is not great, and it's kind of clanky, and but it's okay. But I'd rather have a patent. And if it was the best of both worlds, I would rather have a patent. So Oscro bought his Master secondhand and fully rebuilt it after previous owner came off it at 84 kilometers an hour. What? Jeez. Well, hopefully he had full gear on. Holy shit. James says, I love watching our ECU community torture test these wheels as they come off the showroom floor. I did see that Pagoda actually did thank Chance for his help in the development of the wheel. Well, that's fine. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. Like I said, I thought it was funny how some other people have taken credit for things over the years, appropriately or inappropriately. Dale, I think you're being sarcastic here. Oh, it's awesome. Chance had the Extreme for a day, didn't break it. That's extreme. Well, he did say in that post that he normally breaks most wheels in a day, right? Didn't he say that? I don't know if that's true or not, but he did say that. I thought it was kind of funny. Dale, you're being, yeah. I get the feeling you're not a Chance fan. He's so hardcore. looks like a crackhead with his head shaved. Okay. That's no comment. Oh, Simon talking about the crash of that Master at 84 kilometers an hour. He pulled the Master out of the bushes 50 meters down the road. Wow. Well, hopefully you got a good deal on it. I would imagine you did. George says, I've got high hopes for the Inmotion Adventurer. It's supposed to be dual suspension, MTB forks, and rear linkage air shock. Inmotion Adventurer. I haven't heard anything about that. What is it? Inmotion. And I have not heard that ever. And a trail wheel. What? Well, this is a post from April. What the hell is this? So the Inmotion Adventure is supposed to be their 16-inch suspension wheel. All right. Is there anything new on it? I'm looking on the Electric Unicycle forum. Let's look at the last page. Oh, 10 hours ago. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not getting a lot of detail on the Inmotion Adventurer. But I don't know. Hey, great. I think 16-inch suspension wheels are great. I'm a fan. I'm not like Marty. I don't need to go, be able to go 100 miles. 16-inch wheel with a 2,000 watt-hour battery. That's fine for me. especially with where I live now. I did tell the story, Tommy. I shot myself. Oh, it's supposed to be shat, right? Look at this bruise on my arm, right? You see that on my bicep? It's weird. Maybe this is something with getting old. I have a bruise there. I have a bruise there. See that? I have these bruises that are just showing up. I don't remember doing anything, but I just start to bruise. It's great. So Dale says, I shat myself on the way into town when I was younger, dumped the undies and cleaned up and hooked up with 2 chicks that night. Dude, that's filthy, dude. That's filthy. Tommy, 5K is far from our toilet. Well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't because it was in a city. So this is prior to the race, Tommy. Spartacus got here late. You'll catch up in the beginning after stream ends, but I'm glad you're all right, Duff. Thanks. Yeah, there's a lot of talk earlier, Spartacus. So yeah, you might want to catch it earlier. Use your socks. That is a possibility, I guess. Yeah, it was. Oh my God. It was just. I mean, looking back, it's just weird to me that I felt so compelled to run the race. It's just, I don't know. Tommy going heavy in the emojis there. Tommy, also a channel member, by the way. Free bowling and winning a race. I did not win the race. I don't remember. Did I place in my age group? Probably not. I did okay. I mean, all things considered, I did okay. Simon, I used to run with a guy who would push himself so hard in a race that he would throw up afterwards. Yeah, that's not that abnormal, actually. I've seen that. I used to time races for like almost 10 years for the local running club. I used to run the timing equipment. So I saw all kinds of shit at the end of a race. And people collapse at the end of the race, throw up. We had one old guy that fell and like ripped all the skin off his arm and shit. And yeah, there's been all kinds of crazy stuff that I've seen. James, wow, that was worth tuning in for. Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. Runners colon cures constipation. Yeah, for sure. That's right. Ustride send you the V13. Yeah, I'm curious what dealer's V13 you have. So you got the demo from eWheels. Is that the one that I sent to Opsum? Did it go from me to Opsum to Ustride to you? Is that accurate, Tommy? I'm curious if that's the V13 I had. That would be funny. Dale is on the wrong train. It took him 20 minutes to realize that. I'm sorry to hear that. Oscrow, I've been watching you stride with your Master Pro. Sucks, the bat bracket need fixing. Yeah. No, Tommy's wasn't very happy with his Master Pro. Dale does not dislike Chance. He dislikes bullshit. So is that why you dislike Opsum, Dale? You don't like her bullshit? I haven't seen anything lately from them. Oscrow got the Master for 2,300 Australian with all new parts and Titan armor fairing kit. I'm not sure. How does Australian dollars compare to US dollars? I don't know if it's more or less. But it sounds like a good deal. Oh, wow. Okay, so Simon did the math for me. 23 Australian dollars is 1,600 USD. Well, that's pretty good. George says the Adventurer is due out this fall. No pictures yet. Okay. I mean, I like a 16-inch suspension wheel is a sweet spot for me. Like if the V12 had suspension, that would have been a great wheel for me. I love the V12. I just wish it had suspension. So if they can do something that has like that type of power, speed, and range with suspension, I'd be all in on that. I would like that. Yeah, maybe I should just forget about the patent until I find out what the Adventurer is. Although I'm not really looking for a trail wheel. So who knows? I don't need to buy any wheel, to be quite honest with you right now. But Brian's catching the rest on replay. Thanks for the great discussion. All the best for speedy recovery. And thank God for gear that is worn. Yes, I agree. I agree. Simon says, Tommy can check to see if the V13 is from Opsum by sniffing the seat. I don't know what that means. Dale, I dislike that Opsum is acting like she knows something when she's just some dumb blank. So I guess that's technically a dislike of BS. All right. I knew where you're coming from, Dale. But that being said, I have not seen anything from her recently. So to you, that's probably a good thing, I would imagine. Close that. That's odd. Oscrow measured my T4 knobby wheel. It's actually 17.5 inches. And I just put a Michelin City Grip 90-90-12, and now it's an 18-inch wheel. Yeah, I think that's been kind of like a point of confusion, because I heard Jack, Electric Dreams Jack, say the same thing, basically, that these wheels are being promoted as 16-inch wheels, the T4 and the patent, when in reality they're more, the tire diameter at least is more in line with 18 inches. So, but you know, there still is a definite difference as far as handling and all that kind of stuff. Even though the patent is surprisingly heavy, despite its smaller form factor than the Sherman S. But, all right, Vibe. So the V13 that I got came from Sean, didn't it? Oh wait, no. The EX30 that I got came from Sean. Where did the V13 I had come from? Was that Sean as well? I can't remember. Now I can't remember where the V13 came from. I got the V13 when I was still living at my old house. I don't remember. Vibe says that she's crushing it on YouTube videos, and evidently she crushes it on OnlyFans as well. Right down. From what Dale has told me, Dale keeps me in the loop. George says, Opsum's business model of targeting EUC riders to feed OnlyFans is brilliant. Otherwise, man. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know. Maybe if I was younger, but yeah, to me, it's just I don't look at her stuff. I don't really care what they do. It's fine. I mean, do what you want to do. I don't really care though. It doesn't do anything for me. I don't like, feeling like I'm being manipulated, and she's basically just preying on thirsty men, more or less is the way I would describe it. Thirsty men. Dale won a T-shirt from Black Cobra. Congrats! I didn't know he was giving them away. Vibe says that Opsum is crushing it on Facebook videos. So I guess you can monetize that, right? I don't monetize anything on Facebook, but I guess you can. Opsum and Fun Bailey. Who's Fun Bailey? Is that another female, I assume? A female EUC rider? I don't know Fun Bailey. I mean, look her up on Facebook. Fun Bailey. Fun Bailey. A digital creator. What in the world? Oh wait, Fun Bailey is awesome. Is awesome. Since when is she Fun Bailey? What is that? Oh my God. It's so. Oh my God. I'm looking at the pictures that she has on her. Oh my God. Okay. Hey, I mean, if she's making money doing it and she's fine. Okay. Yeah, some of this stuff is freaking ridiculous. All right, we're going to get off of that. Fun Bailey. I didn't know about Fun Bailey. No, my V13 did not go to Chooch, or didn't come from Chooch. No, he got his after, or he got his demo after me. I think E-Wheels had 2 V13 demos, I believe, at least 2. Oscar, Fun Bailey is awesome on Facebook. Yeah, I just discovered that. I just saw, spread eagle, slow motion, bouncing stuff on her page. It's silly. Hey, but whatever. Different strokes for different folks, right? Dale says she crushes that blank into that blank seat. Oscar Fun Bailey with see-through dress and her stuff showing. Yes, get on it, guys. I don't know how everything I saw from her was like under your awesome. I didn't know that Fun Bailey was her alter ego. I had no idea. Wow. Thanks. I don't know if I get that image on my head, and that's great. All right, guys. So it's what do we got here? 10. Okay, now we're taking shots at Chooch. From Chooch, lick the seat to test for salty tears. I gotcha. And Spartacus describes Awesome as a thirst trap. That's exactly how I would describe her as well. And it traps a lot of people. It traps a lot of eyeballs, evidently. Me, not so much, but yeah, I can understand. All right, guys, it's almost 11 o'clock. I'm going to go hop in the shower, get ready for my big weekend. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do this weekend. Like I said, I might go to the movies. We'll see. And at some point, I don't know. Maybe I can talk about. Oh, probably not. I'll just strike that. But like I said, my life has been since basically all this year, between moving and stuff that's happened prior to moving and stuff that's happened since moving. It's been really, really weird. Really, really weird, guys. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you stopping in. I will be converting this to a podcast as always. And I always forget to say this. If you haven't hit the like on the live stream, please take a second to hit the like on the live stream, because that will promote it for YouTube to show other people the replay of it. So I do appreciate it if you can take a second to do that. If you liked it. If you didn't like it, then don't do it, obviously. But if you did, take a second to hit the like button. I hope you have a great weekend. I might shoot a ride video. Like I had the idea that I was going to take my S22 out to the swamp, because someone correctly pointed out to me that I never took my S22 to the swamp, which I was sure that I did, but I checked my videos. I did not. I was going to do that, but now I got this freaking noise going on, so I'm not going to do it until that's corrected. So, but I might do a ride. We'll see. Thanks again for stopping in, everybody. I appreciate the support. And until next time, Duffman out. I'm going to end the broadcast.